Hi, welcome to another edition of Editorial Content. I've been listening to a whole bunch of different songs on the radio, like at work on internet radio, and I've heard some pretty bad lyrics. So I'm going to go over a few of the worst lyrics I heard last month, being January 2012, and expound on them. This first song is from some guy named Duncan. Just Duncan. Never heard of him before. Probably destined to be a one-hit wonder, but I've made some bad calls on that angle in the past. This song's called Light Up the Sky, and I like the idea behind it. Like, the verse is just they keep repeating these situations where the central idea is, this is the best moment of your life. Grab it for all it's worth, enjoy it to the fullest. But not everything works out as it should. Here's the line. This is your 7-figure record deal. This is your cheeseburger Happy Meal. Yeah, we're comparing getting accepted for a line of work that could pay off $1 million or more versus a cheap dinner that probably only costs $2 or $3 and takes just as much time to eat. I don't know, I'd go with the record deal on this one. Could buy a whole lot of Happy Meals. This next song is from B.O.B. Well, B.O.B.'s the star in it. He is channeling his inner Wiz Khalifa on this. But the lyric itself is courtesy of Lil Wayne, one of my most hated rappers, behind Pitbull and, of course, Soulja Boy Tellin'. Here's the line. You hot as an igloo. Hot as an igloo. Okay, what are igloos made of, again? Ice, which is cold, and they're built in cold environments, so yeah, I know they provide warmth. It's warmer than if you were just exposed to the elements, but it's not that much. I'm thinking of another song Lil Wayne was on, Down by Jay Sean, where he says, down like the temperature, because to me, she's 0 degrees. Yeah, maybe on the Wheezy scale, if you're at absolute zero, that's the hottest temperature possible. But until the scientific community recognizes the Wheezy scale, you just leave the temperature handling up to the smart people. Okay, thank you, goodbye. Moving on to number 3. I'm sorry, it's number 2, we're counting down. Moving on to number 2. This next song is called Boomerang, and it is headlined by DJ Felly Fell. A lot of the vocalists who are carrying the song, they are Akon, Pitbull, and Jermaine Dupri. They get second billing to a guy who, at least as far as the vocal track is concerned, contributes very little to the song. I mean, it's not nothing, but the lyric itself comes from Pitbull. He is, I hate him more than Lil Wayne, but he is still leagues behind Soulja Boy Tellin' as far as how much he sucks. Here we go. How can you say so many syllables and yet so few words at the same time? Unless you were doing a really, really long word. That's beside the point. Okay? Pitbull, he just gets worse every time I hear him. And by this point in time, he's confident enough that he can just spout gibberish and it'll be a hit song. But back to the track itself, this song encompasses everything I hate about the pop music scene these days. Like, it's set in a club, obviously. It's about a girl who is being likened to a stripper. The music, I don't know, it's just trash. And it's not the worst song on the list. It's not the worst lyric on the list. Like, in terms of how bad the songs were, Boomerang would be number 1 out of the 4 here, but the number 1 worst lyric I've heard in January 2012 also comes from Pitbull. You know how I said how Pitbull gets worse every time I hear him? I lied. I heard this before Boomerang, and I don't know, this is just even worse. He just made a reference to New Orleans, like Hurricane Katrina, a disaster where people died, people's homes got looted, broken into, people's businesses the same, and it's just disgusting. Like, does he even know what happened there? Like, he lives in the area. He was born and raised in like Miami. So he should know. He, of all people, should know, well, unless you lived in New Orleans, of course, how much of a disaster this was. How would you like it if I made music and I started using the line blowing up like Fukushima? Okay, by the way, I just trademarked that line so no one can use it. Not even me. So, I condemn, I sentence everyone who's ever used that line, like making a reference to New Orleans, Hurricane Katrina, being flooded, without the context of this kind of disaster situation. Like, I condemn anyone who's ever done that, to have their rich homes, their mansions, everything looted, broken into, stolen. I mean, Pitbull, Young Jock, and those are the only ones I know so far. Oh, and going back to the line he said before, flowing like water, rhyming with flood like New Orleans, it doesn't rhyme. Yeah. But hey, it's not our fault if he doesn't want to rhyme or show compassion to disaster victims. That's his fault. That's what the song's about. Okay, not really. Which is a shame, because otherwise this was a mildly interesting song. Like, T-Pain's up front on this one, and he's sort of deconstructing his persona, how he spends every night in the clubs with the expense of alcohol and hitting on all these loose women. He was doing that too on his other song, 5 O'Clock, where they sampled Lily Allen, juxtaposing the two. Kind of a genius move. I mean, it's not high art, no, by no means, but he's getting there. He's getting into the realm of respectability. Of course, the same cannot be said about Pitbull. So I hope I will, I'm just going to leave you there, and I hope you'll have more respect about the victims of God's wrath from now on. This is Kevin, you are the Resistance.